Bună dimineața și bun găsit la BU, sunt Sabina Iosub și vă spun să rămâneți alături de mine în următoarea jumătate de oră. O să discutăm despre lucruri extrem de importante pentru viitoarele generații și, de ce nu, și pentru cei care acum sunt studenți sau își doresc o carieră în străinătate. Am detalii în programul Erasmus+.
Erasmus Plus este programul prin care Uniunea Europeană sprijină educația, formarea, tineretul și sportul în Europa. De la lansarea sa în 1987, peste 9 milioane de persoane au putut să studieze, să lucreze și să se angajeze voluntar în străinătate cu ajutorul burselor Erasmus. De aceea este considerat unul dintre cele mai de succes programe europene. În România, programul funcționează de 21 de ani. La nivelul anului 2017 s-a făcut un calcul. Programul a schimbat viețile a aproximativ 239.000 de persoane. 80.400 de studenți, 53.700 de tineri participanți la schimburi de tineri, 31.700 de elevi aflați în formare profesională inițială, 68.100 de profesori, formatori și lucrători de tineret, 3.500 de voluntari europeni și 1.200 de studenți și profesori Erasmus Mundus.
Today here with me in the European Parliament in Brussels is Julie Ward. Thank you so much for your presence.
It's great to be here talking to you again.
I know that you are focusing a lot on this program, Erasmus Plus, and coming with new good changings for the future of our kids. Let's say it like this, in having the big umbrella. Let's think a little bit about how this started in 1987, the first Erasmus program, and afterwards in 2014. Erasmus Plus. What this program, how actually this program helped students and the life of everybody in the European Union?
Well, the programme is based upon European values. That's really important, that people understand the wider benefits when we have a European perspective about things, and that one of the ways to try and instill that is to be working with young people. So I suppose the most obvious iteration of the Erasmus programme is the way that young people can study in universities in other member state countries. So this was, if you like, the beginning of the programme, to try and encourage people not to do all their education in their own country, but to look outwards, maybe to learn some other languages, to have the freedom to travel and to be hosted somewhere else, to be learning from each other.
I remember the beginning because I was a student back then, and I was trying to move from one country to another. I was with an Erasmus program in France. It was difficult back then, but nowadays a lot of things have changed.
Well, one of the things that changed is that the Youth in Action programme became part of the Erasmus programme. And I think that's really important. I was more involved in Youth in Action than I was with Erasmus. I myself am not an Erasmus student because, in fact, I didn't go to university until I was 52. So for me, I need a kind of old Erasmus Plus programme. But the recognition that we had to be more inclusive in the Erasmus programme, and that these benefits should accrue to everybody, not just the young people who maybe are now more already in the international world. So reaching out more widely, making it a programme that's not just about university, but also about cultural interaction. Also a programme for people who are teachers, who are trainers, people who are working in civil society and informal education and lifelong learning. This also is part of the programme. So I think one of the challenges is also for us to let people know that it's not just a programme for high-flying students, okay? It can be a programme for everybody, and that's the plus bit. So I love the fact that they actually just put the plus at the end, because that's a positive, isn't it? That's and that doesn't limit it, because it can be plus, it can be plus plus plus, and still the program is growing. So it's not just a program for member states, it's also a program for third countries. So it's a great way for us to reach out to countries that are on the European path, so countries in the Balkans, for example, like Kosovo, like Serbia, Albania, Macedonia, these countries which already see their future in the European family. But also the Erasmus Plus program now reaches out much more widely globally. So many countries in Africa, for example, in the South Pacific, these countries can also be part of the Erasmus Plus program. And I think when people look at the European Union, and sometimes they have a problem with it and they don't quite understand what it is doing good, and you just have to say Erasmus Plus, because this, for me, is the flagship program for the European Union.
How do you do it in practice, actually? What does, how can a person access this program? You were saying, okay, it's not only about the universities now, it's for everybody, actually. It's not only for the European Union states, it's for everybody. Okay, so what do we have to do?
I think it's really incumbent upon youth workers and people working in lifelong learning and informal education to get the knowledge, okay, to be linked in, to join European and global networks that are really pushing this agenda forward, because it is tough making that first step. I think even for a student, even if you're a young person who's going to live and study in another country for a year, that's a big step. So you have to feel that there are networks there to support you. So for me, the big responsibility is that the organisations who are involved in youth work, involved in lifelong learning, informal learning, involved in student union politics, for example, these networks need to be working with their peers across different countries, and need to get together to share best practice, and to, I suppose, get familiar with the programme. You have to know how to fill the format. Exactly. But also you have to know what are European values, because you cannot participate in any European programme. It doesn't matter which committee it is, which DG it is, which sector it is. European programmes are inherently about European values at their core. It's not about member state values, okay? Member state can go off and do their own thing maybe in some areas, but if you are doing European programs, you have to understand. So this is about democracy, this is about rule of law, this is about tolerance, this is about gender equality. It's about all these things that we put forward.
Freedom in general, yeah.
Yes, this is about what we put forward together, and I think because these programmes, they can help the young people, the participants, to understand more, and that is the purpose. But the networks have to really have it. I think the organisations and the networks have to really have it in their DNA. So, and then it's their job to encourage the young people that they come into contact with. Always, here are programmes that you can do, and we will help you. We will hold your hand through the application process. We will be a point of contact for you when you are studying or making your 2-week programme in the summer school. We will be there for you. And then that takes away, if you like, the fear. It should take away the worries that maybe the parents and the carers have, because I know many young people who were always going to put their hand up and say, I do this. And then the parents and the carers go, oh, no. Exactly, yeah. Don't you know it's really dangerous? So I think we have to have these very, these organisations that, in a way, they have quality standards around safeguarding, around caring about young people, about the different people on the programme. But one more thing, it also requires buy-in from the member state government, okay? Because you can be as proactive as you want as a network organisation or as a youth organisation, whatever. You can be quite proactive, but really what you really need is to have behind you, buy-in from your member state government, but buy-in also from local authority, from regional governments. So at every level, you have to have people going, this is a program we love. We believe this is going to give our young people the skills to be better citizens, to be more engaged in our democratic processes, to be the leaders of the future, to be the business leaders of the future. Okay, and we should want them to be part of this incredible program.
In general, when talking about any program, we have also to discuss about money. Is there enough money in the pocket for for this program?
Well, in the Culture and Education Committee, we are fighting very, very hard for more money. We were asking for 10 times the budget. We wanted an increase of 10 times. It was a good campaign. 10 is a, you know, is a good number. We had a lot of social media around this, a lot of press, and a lot of support for 10 times. I think we will probably get 3 times. I don't think we're going to get 10 times. But we shouldn't shy away from asking what we know to be the right thing to do. Always we have to be ambitious, yeah? Always we have to be strong, supporting the sector, supporting the young people. So I think it's really important. And we were very, very clear in the Education and Culture Committee that 10 times is really what we need to make the difference in Europe for young people. So as long, I mean, for me, it was never good enough to stay standing still. So we always have to, you know, look up, we have to look for the increase. And I think, you know, I think we did a good job because it didn't just stay in the Education and Culture Committee. We know that many other committees also understand how important this is. For example, the Employment and Social Affairs Committee, they know how important this is. Okay.
I will discuss this subject also with Mr. Emilian Pavel, focusing on Romania and trying to see exactly how this program will help the Romanian citizens. Thank you so much for your presence at BU.
Okay, thank you.
Discutăm așadar